there a dimension at all? A couple of things that we're not doing,
Okay.
maybe? And you have this, right? You have an up-to-date set
Yeah.
list?
Yeah, let me take another one.
Sure.
And I thought I had a program up there to...
Oh, you might. Jared, how are you? Good. Last time I saw you, you were playing for Rihanna's friend's wedding at Stephen S. Wise. And I took some video, and I sent it to your dad, who was in Poland. Yeah.
Now he's back with all the...
That's right. Yeah. Anyway,
Shalom, everyone. Moadim l'simcha. Chag Sameach. We are in a wonderful time of year. We're in a time of renewal, right? Between after the high holy days, and then we have this time of great joy and the somberness of the high holy days, the wondering what the next year is going to be. This time of year, we're asked to celebrate and to have joy. And so I'm not going to talk about history. I'm going to talk about now, why we're here today. We're here today to celebrate a renewal of Jewish life in Poland, a Jewish life that had at least 1,000 years of a golden, much of it a golden age. The chazanut, the melodies that we sing, the Eastern European nusach that we use in our synagogue, all come from that area of the world, as well as both of my parents, who one came to the United States first, and then the other one, my father came, and they found each other. In fact, they were from the same shtetl in what is now the Ukraine. I've gone to Poland to be there and to help teach, and there's a whole movement going on that I'm very, very excited about, and I'm so proud to share with you today. And I also want to introduce the Consul General of Poland here in Los Angeles, Mariusz Bromara. And we're honored to have you here today. We're going to get on with the show. And thank you. Thank you very much for being here. I know there's a baseball game, but you don't want to see anyway, right? If you're a Dodgers fan, right? I haven't rooted for the Dodgers since I lived in Brooklyn, so that's a joke. End of the debate. If you haven't made up your mind already, then all you're missing is a spectacle. So it's over, the debate? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I am very proud to bring up Rabbi Chaim Beliak, who is the director of the Jewish Renewal in Poland movement. Please give a warm welcome to Rabbi Beliak.
Shalom. It's wonderful to see all of you this evening and to welcome you to Temple Aliyah. We want to thank Chazan Michael Stein and the members of Temple Aliyah, as well as all of you for coming to this concert this evening. This is the first of 3 concerts celebrating Jewish renewal in Poland. Everywhere I go, and every time I have a chance to speak to Jewish audiences or to general audiences, they always ask what is going on in Poland and what is going on with Jews in Poland. Don't have enough time to tell you, and the purpose of this evening is not to give you a history lesson, but I just want to give you a few insights that come to us from the experience that I've had and from the experience of many people that are here. We are at a concert tonight that will celebrate Jewish culture in Poland and the Polish culture in Judaism. We are very proud of the fact that there is just the idea of Jewish renewal. We have 1,000 years of history in Poland, and we have an interesting moment now where there has begun to be a reawakening of Jewish life. The statisticians tell us that there are between 100,000 and 200,000 people in Poland that have a Jewish grandparent. That statistic alone should draw our attention, because that means that we have an opportunity. Some of those people will want to connect. 2 of those people are participating in our concert. They are people who have been trained as lay cantors by Cantor Stein and other teachers, as well as rabbis that have participated in our program that is located now in 10 different cities in Poland. 3 of those congregations exist in the Warsaw area. The original congregation, Beit Warszawa, the newest congregation, Beit Centrum, and a congregation that is 3 years old called Beit Konstancin. It's a suburb of Poland. Wherever we go in Poland, we are met with people who are curious. We are met with people who, some of whom are searching for their roots, and some of them are Poles who say that Jewish life is precious, Jewish culture is precious to us. Can we help you? This is an unusual moment in a new kind of cooperation. Before 1939, there were 45 progressive synagogues. Progressive was the original word for non-Orthodox synagogues that began in 1802 in Poland. The first non-Orthodox synagogue began in Germany in Hamburg. The next 15 were in Polish lands. Progressive Judaism is the history not of German Jews, but of Polish Jews. The largest movement by 1939 of progressive Jews was in Poland, 300,000, larger than all the progressive congregations in England, North America, South America, etc. Part of what we are celebrating tonight is the renewal and the continuation of that incredible spirit and the presence of a Jewish spirit that has reawakened. This program is an unusual combination. I hope that you'll take this program with you, because it tells many details about the people who are participating. We have run the whole gamut here, from David Vishnia, who is a child prodigy, still is a child prodigy, who sang in the largest synagogue in Warsaw, the largest synagogue in Europe, the Tłumacki Synagogue, trained by the most important cantors just before World War II. He was a little younger, his voice was a little higher. He managed to survive Auschwitz. He managed to become a member of the American forces, and he managed to come to America and raise a family, including his grandson, who's participating in this program. David's son, Eric, is a Reform rabbi, my classmate. And years before I met David, Eric promised me that someday I'd meet his father, and his father would have some stories. We're going to hear some of those stories today, as well as we're going to hear David singing, and of course his grandson. We're also privileged to have with us 2 of the lay cantors who are here. One of them, on Friday, just changed his status, and we will refer to him this evening as Dr. Menachem Mirsky, who just finished his PhD in Lublin. A few days earlier, we were privileged to have Rivka Foremniak, another one of the people who was trained in our lay cantors program. We now have 10 lay cantors that travel all over Poland to encourage the development of small but viable groups all over Poland. We're also privileged not only to be the guest of Chazan Michael Stein, but also on Sunday, and this is an opportunity for you, on Sunday we have a concert in Pomona, so all of you that will enjoy tonight, I hope you will then tell people to join us either in Torrance Saturday night, or to be the guest of Cantor Paul Bush, who is hosting us in Pomona, California. Finally, I want to give a great thank you to a gentleman, Neil Brostoff, who is sitting there, who is not going to be singing, but is the co-producer with me of these concerts. We hope that these concerts and this opportunity to understand something about the depth of Polish Jewish life, and here I would refer to a zodiac sign. This holiday, most of the Jewish holidays in this fall season, take place under the sign of the scales in balance. And that's what we need to understand about Polish Jewish life. 1,000 years long, with many, many successes. We are the Judaism we are today, largely because of that 1,000 years. And that our vision needs to balance the scale so that we come into a proper appreciation of all that was produced by this Polish Jewish community. We're appreciative of all our guests. We, of course, invite you to take home the brochure. And if you don't want to take home the brochure and you just want to add a little extra gift, we have an envelope there. We appreciate your support. Our budget, by the way, is very simple. It's $110,000 a year. I want you to tell me how many congregations are running on $110,000. We actually are running 4 congregations and 6 chavarot on a very modest budget. And we hope that people will come to support and to know about this. I lead a tour every year to Poland, an in-depth tour, and I invite you to join us on this tour, which will be in June of this year. It's called Insiders Tour of Poland, and we'd be happy to connect you. Some of the veterans from our tours are here with us this evening. So without further ado, without further commercials, let me welcome you and let me welcome our guests who are going to be performing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. So you have in your program all the important things about Cantor Wisnia and his grandson, but I want to say that thank you. Thank you for a whole generation of us that got to hear Chazanut the way it was meant to be and the way it sounded, and because of people like you, continues to thrive and to be here. Please make welcome Cantor David Wisnia and his grandson, Avi.
For my first part of the program, I chose, with the cooperation of the people, the powers to be, a combination English, Yiddish song made famous by the most beautiful tenor on 2nd Avenue Theater. The name of the song is Mamele. In every language, you have a song about Mother Dear. That's what it means, really, as you see it in the program. I just recently started singing it in Italian, Mama Sant'Anda Felice, and I have him cry constantly when I sing it. So, Mamala was made famous by Jan Pierce. I'm sure you've heard of the tenor. I am no tenor, I am a baritone, what they call a baritone, and for my first number, Mamala, my grandson. Abi. This is Yiddish. And I want you to know that I wasn't allowed to speak Yiddish. Going to a Hebrew school in Warsaw, Poland, I could only speak Polish and Hebrew. As a result, these are my two first languages. Oh, zeigt die Zins, die Licht vor Schabbos. Die Schiene scheint und leicht auf mein Gesicht. Heilig ist das Ort, richtig ist das Wort. Menschen dick die Licht. Mamele. Mamele. Mit Liebschaft will ich dir nur riefen, Mamele. Augenmid, schwach dein Hand. Und ein golden Herz, das jedem Kind bekannt. Ich gedenk, wenn du fleckst mich beruhigen. Ein Kind von 3 Uhr bloß, ich darf dich sehr. Wie die fleckst mich setzen damals auf dein Schoß. Mit der Kisch aufgewischt jeden Trär. Weiß dein Kopf, wie Schnee, was fällt. Mama, hau ich hasse, dass die wirst gräuen alt. Mamele, Mamele, sei gebencht von Gott, Mamele. Mamele, Mamele. Mother dear, I'll always call you Mamele. Tired eyes, wrinkled hands, and a loving heart that always understands. I remember how you used to comfort me, a little boy of 3 in bygone years. I remember how you sat me on your knee. With a kiss, you would dry my tears. Silvery hair, heart of gold. Mama, how I hate to see you growing old. Mamele, Mamele. May God bless you, dear Mama Mamele. My second song, fortunately or unfortunately, as the case may be, is in Polish. And it's a parody on life that I, unfortunately, I was going to say I was privileged to survive, but a life that we wanted to forget. I did spend over 2.5 years in Birkenau, Auschwitz. So after being there for a couple of years, and I think it's important that you people would know, you probably never heard this. When I arrived in Auschwitz in 1942, which was quite early in the story of the Holocaust, the transports of Jews, masses of Jews, did not come in until 1943, 44, until the end of 44 when the Soviet armies came closer. Unfortunately, or fortunately as the case might be, being a prisoner, most of you people hopefully do not know what I'm talking about or will never know. When you become a older prisoner, you know, you get to know your way around. I became a privileged prisoner by singing, as you will read in the bio there. For the SS, I speak German and understood German. They couldn't care less what it was in their drunken parties. So about approximately 43, the end of 43, 44, I was called to entertain them. I used to play the piano a little bit and sing German, Polish. They couldn't care less. The song that was popular then, we won't sing it here tonight, is you probably have heard Bei mir bist du schön, believe it or not. That was popular at the time. Well, anyway, I wrote at the end of 1943 or the beginning of 44. I became a privileged prisoner because of that. I used to entertain them. I was called to sing. They found out that I could sing, and that is what saved my life, really. So I wrote a parody on the life in Auschwitz. Those of you who will understand the Polish will get a good kick out of this. So the town of Auschwitz in Polish is called Oświęcim. And that's what you will hear. And in Polish it rhymes. Unfortunately, I have not found anyone who could fit these words. I think we will have Dr. Mirsky try that. So to do it in the English, to translate it in the English. So here we go. Oświęcim, and it became quite popular with some of the older prisoners. Gdy przypominam sobie sławny Oświęcim, czułem się jak w grobie, widząc krematorium dym. błoto złuży wszerz, błotem szyja, błoto nogi też. Apel, Abstand, mitten ab, to słyszałem wciąż. Cały dzień kręciłem się jak wąż. Oświęcim, ja tłukłbym ciebie, ile wlizie, Oświęcim. Gdy cię wspominam, to mnie gryzie, Oświęcim, Oświęcim. Taki właśnie jest ten Rym. Za te spanie i jedzenie, szlak na twoje pokolenie, Oświęcim. Za twe walki w buksach wszędzie, Oświęcim. Niechaj ci ziemia lekką będzie, Oświęcim, Oświęcim. Serce masz jak stal, gardzę tobą, mam do ciebie żal. Taka to mieścina, ja ją nie chcę znać. Gdziekolwiek kogoś wina w mordę trzeba lać. Choćbyś drżał jak liść, jak choryś też do pracy musisz iść. A zapytanie, gdzie jest tu latryna ta i ta, w mordę otrzymujesz raz lub dwa. Oświęcim, ja tłukłbym ciebie, ile wlizie, Oświęcim. Gdy cię wspominam, to mnie gryzie, Oświęcim, Oświęcim. Taki właśnie jest ten Rym. Za twe spanie i jedzenie, szlak na twoje pokolenie, Oświęcim. Za twe walki w buksach wszędzie, Oświęcim. Niechaj ci ziemia lekką będzie, Oświęcim, Oświęcim. Serce masz jak stal, gardzę tobą, mam do ciebie żal. That's it. Too bad you can't understand the real meaning of it. I guess the translation is in there, but somehow we're going to get something that will rhyme in the English eventually. It could be found, by the way, in the museum in Auschwitz itself. The original writing that somebody took out with them. They wanted to remember me when we went on a death march in 1944, at the end of 1944, as the Russian armies came closer. He wanted me to write it out, and it was quite something to get some paper and utensils there anyway to use. And he gave it to me 10 years later when I came to Israel, to Herzliya, when one of my friends said, I've got something of yours that you gave me. And that original writing can be found at the museum in Auschwitz, and a copy of it at the museum in Washington. Next item. MashaAllah. My third piece, not to bore you, again, is in Yiddish. Moishelach Shleimelach. I cannot describe how happy I am to be really a part of this renewal in Poland, because, you know, you can take a Pole out of Poland, but you cannot take Poland out of the Pole. So, this was a period, a time, where we lost the greatest part of our people, of Polish people. The genius of some of them really lost it forever in Poland, and how beautiful it is for me to see it and participate with Rabbi Beliak and some of the guests who are here to help in some small measure to rebuild life in Poland. This is a sad song. I'm sure you've heard it. Moishalach Shloimelach. Unter die polnische grünige Bäumelach spielen sich mehr nicht kein Mäuschelach, Schläumelach. Spielen schon mehr nicht kein Surlach, Leelach, nicht auf kein Gräselach, nicht auf kein Schneelach. Sie hören schon mehr nicht kein jiddisches Stimmelach, von dick und Deisimlach, Mottelach, Schimmelach. Mit der zerquälte, zerrappete Zurlach, von dem Beweisen, von der ihm in Gewurlach. Streuen in die polnische Bäumelach, Teutzen in jüdische Heimen und Heimelach, Teutzen in Gesselach, Choreb die Heiselach, wo es verstecken sich Kinder wie Meiselach, jüdische Kinder mit großen Geigelach. Hure Basäuwi mit Heuschech Verzeugene. Eigelach volle mit Pachat Verlaufene, unter dem Grünem, dem Bräunem Getroffene. Unter die polnische grünige Bäumelach spielen schon mehr nicht kein Mäuschelach, Schläumelach. Spielen sich mehr nicht kein Surlach, Leelach, nicht auf kein Gräselach, nicht auf kein Schneelach. Thank you. Albino? From the sublime to the ridiculous, we now have a song that it's made popular by the great cantor of the Israel Defense Forces, Shai Abramson. Beautiful tenor. If you can ever reach it on television, I'm sure you would be able to hear it. And I would like the group to join me. There are only a few words in Hebrew, and I know that you must know the refrain. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, our Father in heaven. Okay? Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, Rock of Israel and it's Redeemer. That's the word. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. That's the refrain that we come back to constantly. Here's the melody. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. Come on. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. Barech, Barech, et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. Hagen Aleha be'evrachastecha, ufros alea sukat shlomecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. Ushelach orcha L'rasheha, sareha, ve'oateha, ve'oateha, betaknem b'yetza tova, milfanecha. Betaknem mi'etza tova, milfanecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo. Chazek, 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 Chazek et yidei meginei eretz kodshenu, ve'anchilem Eloheinu Yeshua. Vateret nitzachon teatrem. Chazek, Chazek, Chazek et yidei beginei eretz kadsheinu me'anchilei me'eloheinu Yeshua v'ateret nitzachon tiatrem me'ateret v'natata shalom shalom ba'aretz v'simchat olam le'yoshveha Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. V'nomar, 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 Amen.
Thank you all. Good.
And finally, a piece of chazanut, real stuff that I learned at the bench from one of the greatest cantors in Poland, Warsaw. Great synagogue that was destroyed right after the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. The Tlomackie Synagogue, where you will find our skyscraper in its place. And it's quite an interesting story. They could never build up past the height of the Star of David, believe it or not, for many, many years. There's quite a story about that. A Polish delegation went while Poland was still occupied by the communist regimes and the Soviets. They couldn't build, so they sent a delegation to Israel to Rabbi Cook, and he told them, really, the story is in the papers, really, you can find that. They went to find out there was always an accident. Finally, there's now a 35 or 40-story building there. And Rabbi Cook turned to them and said, please help. They said to him, please help us. What can we do? We can't build past a certain height of the cupola. You know, it was a gorgeous synagogue. It seated 2,500 people. And please remember, I was a part of an 80-piece choir of boys only in that synagogue. It seated about 2,500 people. Huge, magnificent. And the wind-up was, he told them, why don't you build the entrance to the building, you know, to look like the columns of the synagogue, of the big, beautiful temple. Believe it or not, if you ever go to Warsaw, you'll see on the other part of where that building, that Sony building, is standing. And I had my other grandson with me at the time, and I had him in front. And that's what you see in front of that 30 or 40-story building. Anyway, the most beautiful piece of Chazanut, and I'm sure you've heard it. We will close with that. and it's Sheibane Beit Hamikdash. May the temple be rebuilt in our days. A real piece of chazanut. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, yehi ratzon milfanecha, yehi ratzon. Ratzon, yehi ratzon, yehi ratzon, yehi ratzon milfanecha, yehi ratzon milfanecha, Hashem Elokeinu, Avotenu. If you know it, join in. Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu B'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu, Yehi ratzon milfanecha, ratzon yehi. Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu, Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu, Ki me'olam uksani kadmorni. What's so funny? As I touch it, it moves. Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu, Yehi ratzon milfanecha, ratzon yehi. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, ratzon milfanecha, Sheibane Beit Hamikdash, Sheibane Beit Hamikdash b'mehera b'yameinu, وبتين خلكين بتورته بشام نباد خواب ایران بشام نباد خواب ایران بشام نباد خواب ایران Oşanim kadmoni And this is without rehearsal.
Kulakabo, David, Cantor David Visnua. So beautiful. Now you see on your program, I love it. They were at my house the other day, and you know my little grandchildren sit here when I play music, and they go, Saba, Saba. And when I heard you call your Saba, you went and said, Saba, what are we doing next? I went, wow, I had chills. I had chills. L'ador vador from generation to generation. A great musician on his own merit. Our Avi.
When you fly into Warsaw, Poland, you fly into Chopin Airport. I grew up, of course, listening to my grandfather sing at the pulpit at his synagogue, and I grew up with music myself. And it was only recently that I had the great pleasure of traveling back to Poland, where my family is from. And even though music has always been in my life, the music that I play and the music that I sing is not necessarily in the great cantorial tradition of my people. But I certainly can't deny that I was influenced by the music of this man and his ability to perform and to captivate and to feel so comfortable in public from the bima. And teaching, and officiating, and leading. And so when I started taking piano lessons, I never realized the connection that would be formed by one of my greatest composers, Chopin. And so I'm going to play a piece that I actually learned in high school as I was taking classical lessons, classical piano lessons. And even though my influences started to lead me in other directions, that foundation that I learned when I was a kid is always there. And it's what provided me the base to grow off of and to blossom and explore my own path forward. And so when I had the chance to travel with my grandfather last year for the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz camp, and I got to see him sing there, to go back to this place, I realized the long legacy of history and family and the musical tradition that he helped keep alive. So I'm going to play for you now a piece I learned in high school, a piece that if you call my grandfather's cell phone right now, the composer comes up as the ringtone. One of my favorite composers, and not only that, but when we came to visit the Beit Warszawa community of progressive Judaism in Warsaw that we were a guest of, they gifted us with the music of Chopin. So Chopin really runs throughout this whole Polish experience. I'm going to invite Cantor Mike Stein to join me on this next song. It is a song that I wrote called New Year. And I wrote this song really influenced by a rough time that I noticed my friends going through and times in my life where I didn't feel like I knew the way forward and felt like things were never going to get better. And it's been really amazing traveling with my grandfather, especially back to Poland, and learning more of his story and putting it into context of who he is and who I know him to be, and stories of my family, and also the larger context of the Jewish people, the Polish people, humanity, history. And I'm very grateful that my grandfather is able to tell his story and share his story so freely. I know there are people that are not able to, either they're not alive anymore or it's just too painful to revisit. And that's certainly understandable, and it makes me even more grateful that my grandfather shares his story, and not only that he will tell it to you, but that it's now actually written down in book form with a memoir that was just released, with stories in it that I had actually never heard before. And it's only recently that I realized that growing up, I had always heard bits and pieces of my grandfather's story, but I didn't realize that before I was born, it wasn't something that was shared or talked about. And so I'm grateful that the stories are out there, and to know about the history, and not only know it, but to be able to revisit Poland and to share it and to experience it and to really to know as much as I can know about what happened and where I come from and the family that I never got to know. And the most incredible thing for me to see was my grandfather standing at the death gate at Birkenau, one of the most iconic emblems of evil that probably exists in the world. And for him not to only return there, but to sing, to stand there in front of thousands of people and sing in full voice as a survivor and as someone who lived a full life and gave his life to his family and his community. And so this song, New Year, is about turning things around and knowing that it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late for things to get better. And no matter how bad things get, you can always make a change your perspective, change the way things are. And I think nobody or nothing embodies that more than my grandfather and what he's experienced. You know, New Year's Day is just kind of an arbitrary day where we say we're going to change things and do things differently. But there's no reason that any day can't be a new year.
Never say what really is on your mind. It's really not the time and place. And never face the world with an open hand. But this is a new year. This is a new year. This is a new year. This is a new He ran away to lose himself. His fists were punching in the air. His fate would take him to the edge, though he never thought they'd take him there. And never turn your back on the way things are. They are what they're supposed to be. Never face the world with an open hand. But this is a new year. 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 never turn your back on the way things are. They are what they're supposed to be. And never face the world with an open hand. This is a new year. 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 This is a new year, a new year. Thank you.
Beautiful. Ave Visnia. We're going to take a short break because I know everybody needs to. Whatever. But we want you to know that there are CDs and there's David's book is out there. Avi, you have some CDs as well? Yeah, okay, and David's CDs. And we have a great second half of the show. Let's make this a quick intermission, 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll see you right back. What's that? Oh, absolutely. We have Theodore Bickel CDs out there. I spent the last year of his life, he's a very, very close dear friend, and I sat in his living room and recorded his life story, which in many ways parallels David's story. So I want you to take a look at it. It's a really beautiful CD, and it just came out on Red House Records, and so we're celebrating that as well tonight. Take a break, enjoy, spend money out there, and support the Jewish Renewal in Poland. We'll be right back.
they turned it off, people would start passing out. do you want to play from here?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you please come back and take your seats so we can begin the second half of our program. If you please take your seat.
So when we get to, I want you to introduce this piece. And I would ask you, the music that they're going to hear is music that we use at our congregation. And I want you to tell people that Psalm 93 was the reason that we're sitting here today, because it was watching Rivka and Avi do it.
Thank you. If you please be seated. We're going to begin the second half. So I'm a little bit jealous because my son Jared was actually the first one in our family to go to Poland and play music. He was asked by Theodore Bickel, my dear friend, to play with him at several concerts in Poland. He's actually on Polish television, and he played at the festival in Krakow, the Klezmer Festival, with Theodore Bickel. And while I was there, so he got there before me, and while I was there, I stayed at the wonderful home of Severin Ashkenazi, who is a man who's really behind a lot of what's going on in Jewish renewal in Poland. His time and his work and his everything. And so I was staying at his home in a place called Mężmierz. Mężmierz, yeah? Did I say it right? All right, Mężmierz. And I was walking home in the middle of the afternoon. I took a long walk. And as I walked, there was a certain rhythm. And in my mind, I was thinking about what it would have been like to have lived in that forest nearby and hiding from the Nazis, right? And a melody came into my mind, and I went back to his home and I wrote it down on his famous big white piano that everybody in town knows about. And I wrote it down, and I thought, well, this is a great melody. I love it, but I want to write it into a complete concerto, a big piece. So I was playing it for Jared, and then I thought, my son Jared, what a better person than to help me finish writing this. So it's still a work in progress, and we're going to expand it more. But there's several little sections. One is wandering through the forest. One is running through the forest. One is stopping and taking a breath, and the end is maybe hope. So there's 4 movements, but they're very quick tonight, and that's good. And I also want to say that my work in Poland is well, we'll talk about that as soon as he's finished, because I'm going to introduce the students and the people who are working in Poland and talk a little more about that. But here's a song called Mężmierz.
David Cohen on piano.
He didn't play some of those notes last time. He played it for me. Wow, that is beautiful. Jared Stein. David Cohen. So in Menjmir's this past summer, we had a workshop, a seminar, and we learned and we were in this beautiful place. And one of the reasons that we have this concert happening tonight, the inspiration is Psalm 93, when one of our, well, Rivka, I could hardly say she's a student. She's been teaching everybody else as well. She's really wonderful. Rivka sung this Psalm 93, and it was the inspiration to bring the students here, and I'm very excited about it. So please, let's make welcome our cantorial leaders in Poland, Rivka and Menachem, please.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש.
בשפחה אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה.
לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש.
ברוך אתה אדוני,
ברוך הוא וברוך שמו,
האל, האל.
הקדוש. אמן.
And now Psalm 93. Little, but what's beautiful is this psalm will be really featured in this Shabbat because it's Chol HaMoed, and we really start with the psalm for Shabbat and then this one. So here we go.
אדוני מלך גאות לבש, לבש אדוני עושית זר, אף תיכון תבל בל תימות, אף תיכון תבל בל תימות. נכון כיסך מאז, מעולם מטה, נשאו נחרות אדוני, נשאו נחרות קולם,
יישאו נחרות אופיים, מקולות מים רבים אדירים משפירי ים. אדיר במרום אדוני,
עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נאווה קודש. אדוני לאורך ימים, אדוני לאורך ימים. And now it will be sung about love and waiting. And if you would like to know what it is about, because I will sing in Polish, there are texts in English in program. zaś włosy masz jak kasztany i kasztanowy masz oczu blask. I tak nam było dobrze, kochane, wśród złotych liści, wiatru i gwiazd. Gdy wiatr kasztany otrząsał gradem, mówiłeś żegnaj i drżał ci głos. Odjeżdżam dzisiaj, lecz tam, gdzie jadę, zabiorę z sobą tę złotą noc. Kochany, kochany, lecą z drzewa jak dawniej kasztany, wprost pod stopy par roześmianych, jak cudny rudy grat, jak w noc, gdy w alejce rudy kasztan ci dała mi serce, a tyś rzekł mi 3 słowa, nic więcej, że kochasz mnie i wiatr. Już 3. jesień park nasz wyzłaca, kasztany lecą z drzew 3. raz, a twoja miłość do mnie nie wraca, choć tyle błyszczy liści gwiazd. I tylko złoty kasztan mi został, mały talizman szczęśliwych dni i ta jesienna piosenka prosta, którą wiatr może zaniesie ci. Kochany, kochany, lecą z drzewa jak dawniej kasztany, wprost pod stopy par roześmianych, jak rudy lecą grat, jak w noc, gdy w alejce rudy kasztan ci dała mi serce, a tyś rzekł mi 3 słowa, nic więcej, że kochasz mnie i wiatr. Kochany, kochany, lecą z drzewa jak dawniej kasztany, wprost pod stopy par roześmianych, jak rudy lecą grat, jak w noc, gdy w alejce rudy kasztan ci dałam mi serce, a tyś rzekł mi 3 słowa, nic więcej, że kochasz mnie i wiatr.
Before I sing another song, I owe you an explanation. What is it about? The song is called 6 Voices, and it's a song that I wrote, and it's based on rabbinic literature on Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, chapter 33. It was a Hebrew poem that I translated into Polish and made a song of it. It's about 6 voices. Actually, one voice that comes from one edge of the world into another, comes back, and it's not heard. And there are 6 moments in life when this voice goes this way, and it's not heard. The first moment is when they cut off the tree while it gives the fruit. The second moment is when a snake is shedding his skin. The third moment is when a man and a woman make love for the first time. The fourth moment is when a woman gives birth to a child. Fifth, when they divorce, a man and a woman. And the last one is when a soul leaves a body. 6 voices. Kiedy ścinają drzewo, które wydaje owoc, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. W godzinie, w której wąż porzuca skórę swoją, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. Ay da di da dai, ya ba da di da di da dai, ba da yum ba da di da dai, ya ba da di da dai da dai, one da dai, ba da ba bum dum da dai, ya da da, one da dai, ba da dai, ya da dai. Kiedy mąż wraz z żoną na pierwszy szczyt w chuj wchodzą, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ten dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. W godzinie, w której ona obdarza go potomkiem, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ich dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. Ay da di da dai, ya ba da di da di da dai, ba da yum ba da di da dai, ya ba da di da dai da dai, one da dai, ba da bum ba da dai, ya da one da dai, ba da dai, ya da dai. A gdy kamienie płaczą i tych dwoje się rozstaje, głos ten dobiega krańców świata. Głos ich dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. I kiedy dusza ciało opuszcza na zawsze, głos jej dobiega krańców świata. Głos jej dobiega krańców świata, lecz nieusłyszany powraca. One da di da dai, ya ba da di da dai, ba da yum ba da di da dai, ya ba da di da dai da dai. One da dai, ya ba da bum ba da dai, ya da da. One da dai, ya ba da dai, ya da da yum da di da dai, wa ba ba bi da di da dai, da da yum da di da dai, ya ba da di da dai da dai. One da dai, ya ba da bum dai, ya da da. One da dai, ya ba da dai, ya da da.
That was incredible. That was incredible. Taking elements of so many ideas. So I'm going to embarrass you, Rivka. Is that okay? Rivka, what a Jewish heart she has. When I'm teaching her, I'm teaching. You know how I close my eyes when I sing and I'm teaching? I look up and she's crying.
Yes.
So it's really, really lovely. And one of the things we were teaching, things I try to get across is as we do here, we take melodies that people know and use them. So here's something that was, we're doing Sim Shalom, 3 versions of it. And the last version is one from a klezmer tune called Tanz in Tanz. All right? And so we're going to do it.
Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom tova uvracha, וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. שים שלום טובה וברכה, הן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברכנו אבינו כולנו כאחד, ואור פניך כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו. שים שלום טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. ברכנו אבינו כולנו כאחד, ואור פניך כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו. שים שלום טובה וברכה, הן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך. שים שלום טובה וברכה, הן וחסד ורחמים עלינו אבינו כולנו כאחד באור פניך כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו ברכנו אבינו כולנו כאחד באור פניך כי באור פניך נתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו שים שלום טובה וברכה וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל על כל ישראל עמך.
All right, and next we're going to do a song that was very popular in Israel for a while, before the, I don't know which intifada, but it was a song of peace, where we sing shalom and salam in the same song. Chazan Visnia, can you help us out? Give us a little chazanut. We thought we'd started out with a little chazonis, and then we'll go into a little more chazonis.
Shalom Aleichem. Od Shalom Aleichem. Od Shalom, Shalom, Shalom
Shalom Aleinu ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלאם, סלאם. Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleichem, Od Yavo Shalom Aleichem, Ve'al Kulam. Salam. Salam.
Audio Shalom Aleichem, Audio Shalom Aleichem, Kulam. Audio Shalom Aleichem, Audio Shalom Aleinu, Audio Shalom Aleinu, Kulam.
Wow, it's great improvising with this young guy. We're going to have two more Yiddish songs that we're going to end up with tonight, because Yiddish really is the language of the people of the Jews of Poland. And we're going to do Tumba Lalaika, and then Un Az der Rebbe singt, Un Az der Rebbe tanzt. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. So stick with us. Two more songs. And reason we're doing some of these Yiddish songs at the end is some of these, at least Un Az der Rebbe tanzt is on the CD from Theo Beckel while I'm here. And we recorded it while he was here, but unfortunately, by the time it was done, he had left this world. And it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of remembering his great, great life. Okay, so Tun Balalaika. If you know it, sing along. We're going to keep changing keys. So if you know what key it is, let us know.
Steht der Bocher und Tracht, Tracht und Tracht, a ganze Nacht. Wem zu nehmen und nicht verschämen, wem zu nehmen und nicht verschämen. Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel, balalaika, tumbala, laika, Freilach soll sein. Mädel, Mädel, ich will bei dir fragen, was kann wachsen, wachsen und regen, was kann brennen und nicht aufhören, was kann bänken, weinen und röhren. Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel, balalaika, tumbala, laika, Freilach soll sein.
Narischer Boker, was darfst du fragen? A Steiken wachsen, wachsen und regen. Liebe kann brennen und nicht aufhören. Ach, hat's kann bänken, weinen und trären.
Tumbala, tumbala, tumbala laika, tumbala, tumbala, tumbala laika, tumbala laika, spiel balalaika, tumbala laika, Freilach soll sein. Wo sie se hecher von a Haus, wo sie's flinker von a Mäus, wo sie's tiefer von a Qual, wo sie's beide Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel laika, tumbala, laika, Freilach soll sein.
A koimen sacher von a Haus, a Katz is flinker von a Mäus. Die Teure ist tiefer von a Qual, der Teut ist bitter, bitter wie Gall.
Tumbala, tumbala, laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel laika, tumbala, laika, Freilach soll sein.
All right, one last song here, my favorite. I loved to watch Theo sing this at home with him, and he did all the funny stuff with it. So we're going to do it too. And you know what verse you're doing, Chazan, for Un Az der Rebbe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Stop packing up.
Are we on? Is this on? No? Hold on. You have to turn the button. There you go. Have you had a good time tonight? Pretty amazing evening. All these generations, all these people from so far and wide coming together to express Judaism and Yiddishkeit in the most beautiful, profound ways. So here we go.
Als der Rebbe singt und als der Rebbe singt, singen alle Chassidim, singen alle Chassidim.
Chassidim
Ja
too.
la 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 la, ja la 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 la, ja la 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 Chassidim, ja la 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 la, ja la 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 la. Singen alle Chassidim.
Und als der Rebbe tanzt,
Und als der Rebbe tanzt, und als der Rebbe tanzt, tanzen alle Chassidim, tanzen alle Chassidim. Oi, 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 la, 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 tanzen alle Chassidim. Ja, la, 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 ja, la, 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 tanzen alle Chassidim.
Und als der Rebbe schluft, rappen alle Chassidim. Rappen alle Chassidim. Und als der Rebbe schluft, und als der Rebbe schluft, rappen alle Chassidim. Oi! Als der Rebbe
Rappen alle Chassidim. Und auf der Rebbe lacht, und als der Rebbe lacht, lachen alle Chassidim. Lachen alle Chassidim.
Come on, get it out of your system. Here we go.
Lachen alle Chassidim. Lachen alle Chassidim.
Und als der Rebbe singt,
Als der Rebbe singt, singen alle Chassidim, singen alle Chassidim. Ja la 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 la, ja la 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 la, singen alle Chassidim. Ja la 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 la, ja la 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 la, singen
I see them too. You see them, I see them.
Shalom, everyone. Thank you for being here, sharing this wonderful evening. Many generations. Jewish life in Poland. Am Yisrael Chai. The people of Israel live. Cantor David Wisnia, grandson Avi, Rivka, Menachem, Jared Stein, Cantor Paul Booth, my wife Kelly, my kids, my grandchildren, Jared Stein. Still have the Koach Saturday night in Torrance and Sunday evening in Orange County.
In LA County. Pomona is in LA County.
Pomona. That's in LA County, sorry.